This country is so rich a country, and the history of Oman, I think, is talks for itself. The more you sit in Oman, the more you feel you are really missing a lot. I wish I had been coming to Oman more before. I made a big mistake by just coming 3 times. 1, 30 years ago, and 2, the second trip was just before the Corona, and the third trip is this one. That has been very hectic and one of the most rewarding and full of activities visited. It wasn't planned straight enough. If I were to plan like this visit, I would not be able to do. It's been so hectic, it's scheduled, and very nice to know people like yourself and to be with the youth today, my lovely youth. And at the end of the day, I always say for the teachers, هذه بضاعتكم ردت إليكم. Because I'm after all a teacher. A commodity that has come back to you, telling you exactly what you've taught it. So basically this character that is standing in front of you is not a character that stands here to brag about my stations or excellence. I just wanted to share something because I thought I'm not here for this presentation. I came for other things, of course, and other activities. But while I was talking with Hamad, listen, this is lovely parents, no matter how much I talk about these 2 individuals, they are the safety valve and security valve for Oman. May Allah bless you. And may Allah have, we need to have more of people like Sheikh Najm, and he's Najm, subhanAllah, even his name says he's a star. So he's shining with goodness, God, with morality to all of us. And of course, the lovely pious lady, Sheikh Fathiyya, sitting here, we are so humble. And remember, humbleness will always take you up. من تواضع لله رفعه. Whoever humbles himself for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, remember this is a conviction. Allah will always elevate you, will always raise your status in His sight, not just in the sight of the people. And the people will always respect you and accept you because Allah loves you. And that's part and parcel of the definition of the word Muslim. The Muslim is the one completely and peacefully submits himself. And he is always humble. This is an inborn characteristic of Muslim. So humbleness is what distinguishes also the people of Oman. May Allah bless you all. Let me take you back to this journey. I hope you will enjoy it. I hope I'll add some value to you. I'm, by the way, a cocktail, Bahraini, Saudi, whatever you want to call me. I've got 2 passports. Saudi, of course, by default, I'm from Oman. But of course, you will see through the station that I was also part and parcel of Bahraini culture when I first started. So I'm going to talk about some of these stations. And in the process, I would like you to concentrate on the concept of lifelong learning, self-development. We need to concentrate on that. Because at the end of the day, if you separate yourself from this concept, lifelong learning and self-development, you're not going to excel in life. Life is all learning. Life is full of experiences. And you will be hit hard sometimes. And that hitting hard, there will be a lot of gems and jewels that you get out of it if you know how to really gear it towards your future and learn from these experiences. So it's very important to understand whatever comes your way also is very important for you to really add and learn or add more basically benefits to your life. So it's very important to understand whatever I'm doing here. I'm going to be talking basically about lifelong learning and how I did it through my life with all the fumbleness, with all the tribulations, with all the hitting hard that we had to go through. And out of this, excellence, you will see excellence coming in your future and in your career and in your life in general. All right, of course, as I said, there will always be these tribulations, because that's part and parcel of being on this earth. Now, you understand, it's the toiling, the hardship, But out of this hardship, there comes, will always come, inshallah, excellence if you know how to deal with it. Having a problem with this, I hope this is working. It's not working now. It's working. Okay. I don't know why it's not working here. Anyway. If we can get I think the battery is not. Anyway, this was, because I usually like to move around, I don't like to start with this. If you can give me something clear, I don't know why it's not working. It was working before. But anyway, now, remember, before you leave your house, we have been taught to always entrust our affairs in the hand of Allah. Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah. Okay, Bismillah, in the name of Allah. Okay, tawakkaltu ala Allah. I trust my affairs in the hands of Allah. Bismillah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There is no strength or power. So whatever people try to teach you, or to learn, to give you the skills, to do all that, at the end of the day, you have to leave with this humbleness attitude. There is no strength, or there is no mind except in the hand of Allah. I always like to remind people of this, because there are 4 things that we need to be careful about when we are in this life. You know, and it says, the hadith says, Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika an adilla, aw adilla, أو أزل أو أزل أو أظلم أو أظلم أو أجهل أو يجهل عليه. These are the most problematic, all the problems, all the things that will come to you, basically it boils down to these problems. Either misguidance, or slipping, or becoming unjust to other people, or becoming what? Foolishly acting, and maybe you are going to be disturbing somebody in the process. So these are 4 things that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sought refuge with, and he has instructed us to make sure that whenever we leave the house, we have to make all the time, make sure that we entrust ourselves in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, I always show this because the anchor of whatever we do has to be in these things. Whatever you are involved in this dunya, you have to make sure you are always connecting yourself to this, God consciousness, spiritual direction, cultural heritage, morality, ethics, compassion, and there is no leadership without this. You will never find there is no leadership without this. At the end of the day, we are supposed to be connected to the higher entity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make sure that we are always conscious and our morality is always there, and we always have to do whatever we do, it has to be for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that it will be turning ibadah for all of us. So it's very important. Leadership is always anchored with this. Now, I will tell you, we have a rich heritage in this country, and we have in the Gulf rich heritage. It's very important to always remind the youth of this rich heritage that has made us who we are, that has made Sheikh Najib who he is, and Sheikh Al-Fatih. We always have to go back in history and anchor ourselves to that great morality of those towering figures who really put a lot of efforts and sacrifice for the sake of building this country, Oman, or Saudi Arabia, or Bahrain, or Kuwait, or Qatar, or this, or your country for that matter. It's good to do always, man. Remember the dedication of your ancestry, dedication of your forefathers, because with that heritage, you really can rebuild on that. They dedicated themselves. For me to be standing in front of you, enjoying all this luxuries, who pushed it? Who did all that? How they sacrificed it, how they dedicated their life for us to be who we are today. This is the heritage I'm talking about. We, of course, as a family from the Dossary tribe, or from Bahrain, or Saudi Arabia, we had this history of, the diving, and this is the same history as Oman, almost here. It's not like there's no. So remember, there used to be pearls diving, people would get pearls, and that was basically the commodity and the commerce that our ancestors used to be on. And they sacrificed a lot. They sacrificed a lot, you know, till, of course, the oil was discovered. And with that discovery, of course, you had people, those people who were dedicating themselves. They dedicated themselves and worked hard day and night to make sure that we are who we are today. You know, and they said that we lost a lot of people in the process. I just want to show this is exactly why I'm in Oman. I came for this project, but I'm just saying that this is just a side. So, this is a program I'm involved in. And this is why I'm here. These are some of the goals. This I just jumped this. Now, I'll go through a story, a struggle of those findings. I'll tell you just one story of that one, just to make you live that. In 1933, there was a concession between Saudi Arabia and the American government at that time, so-called. Okay. Concession agreement signed in 1933. In 1938, oil was discovered in Saudi Arabia, 1938. And the well 7, the Mount well 7 was basically the first well. And I hope you understand. If you know the history of Saudi Arabia. So that is the well that started producing big quantity in commercial for export. So it was about 3,810 barrels a day. That was in 1938. Something happened after that. There was a huge fire in the history of Iran. Until today, this is the biggest fire ever happened in the history of Iran. At that time, imagine, the model number 12 exploded. There was an American and Saudi, and some other Saudis around, but it's not clear if, but what I remember, two individuals were very close to the pyramid, or the pyramid. One was on the platform, it was 135 feet long. That man was on the platform, Saudi guy, and the American was beneath, just watching and not supervising the whole process. This well exploded in a way that was unbelievable. To the extent that the fire stayed for 20 days. They had a problem extinguishing it. They started calling, the Americans started calling San Francisco, Florida. Come on, we need some professional firefighters to come and extinguish this. They were so late. The Saudis will not wait. They started doing what those are our ancestors mostly. They started filling the hole with mud. Till, alhamdulillah, they buried all of that and they extinguished the fire. That then Bollinger, the American at that time is named Bollinger, to send another cable to San Francisco, telling them, stop, don't send any of your professional. The fire is already put out. But we lost two individuals. And later on, somebody said there were other, but unfortunately, they were unaccounted for. The American died. They took him to the hospital. But unfortunately, he didn't make it. The Saudi was on the big one, 35 feet. Now the fire is all around him, and he wanted to jump in case he might save himself. But it was like an impossible mission. Anyway, he jumped. He went all the way down in the hole. And later on, they found his leg morning. So, Allah gracious his soul. So he passed away. And by the way, this is only one story. And I'm sure everybody has got stories. If you sit with any house, any sort of area, especially the older people, you will hear a story here or there. Now that's one dedication, one sacrifice for us to be who we are, for us to reach where we are now. The same thing applies to Oman. The same thing applies to other countries. That the Brahmin, of course, they said they were tired and jubilant. The Brahmin here, the Saudis, because they were very happy that they extinguished and put out the fire. Now, please remember, death is not, according to this quotation, death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss in life is what dies inside us while we live. This is why, sadness, you should be very careful about extreme sadness, because the extreme sadness will stifle you, will not make you build. You will stay sad all the time. So you have to be careful about balancing your feeling. The Saudi had a boy, baby boy. His name was, not his name, his age was 1 year or something, around that. The uncle of the boy got married to the widow. And this is the uncle, and that's the boy. Basically, the uncle started raising the boy. Only after disaster can we be like, who's this boy? You know about it. That's the boy. Basically, this is just some information about the fire that we talked about. Just give this quickly. So the fire was being fueled. Imagine the severity of the fire. 10,000 barrels basically was fueling the fire at that time. That's the severity of the fire. And then they said, we don't need any of these exposures. I want to go south because we don't need, we've already done it. So, of course, a character started shaping and was in the making. This orphan, taken care by his uncle, started basically being, he had a vision and he started improving. So character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, vision cleared, ambition inspired, and success achieved. Say it like that. So this character started basically having a vision. And the flame of that burning fire was at the front of that character all the time. So it was like a blessing in disguise for that character, instead of something that would turn me off. So the orphan sometimes struggles are exactly what we need in our life. If we were to go through our life without any obstacles, we'd be crippled. We would not be as strong as what we could have been. So this orphan started pursuing his studies. He joined Aramco. He studied elementary school at that time, he did 2 or 3 years. Then he joined Aramco. And he started going into a long life learning, and you will see that character, basically. So, that is even ID in Aramco. And this is basically used to people to Beirut. With a lot of Saudis at that time, they would take him to Beirut to study, and then they would go to America, they would stay. They didn't finish their high school or elementary school, they would go and most of them finished their high school in America. Philadelphia, New York, then they went to San Jose, California, and they ended up going the way he left his family. He got married, but of course at that time they were married at an early age, and he went with family, went to the States, studied. He stayed 7, maybe 8 years, till he came back. So the author became a man. He became one of the leaders of Saudi Aramco. He led many of the projects. He became one of the managers, general managers, and after that the government took him to lead very important 2 projects in Jubail Desert College and Yemen. That's important. That's important. The flame was still shining in his face all the time, so that he can excel all the time. Things unlimited there. Some of his ideas and wisdoms, that he would share with the people all the time are these. Speak your mind, I think, change, be yourself. Strive to be worthy of recognition. Whatever the struggle, continue the climb. Continue the climb, don't stop. Whatever the struggle, continue the climb, don't stop. It may be only one step to the summit, but never stop. Well, this is Dr. story. Now I'll go to another story, my story. I lived in Bahrain most of my life at the beginning. I lived in the elementary, intermediate, high school. Most of my life was spent there at that time. I studied in 2 schools. One of them is a famous school. They say it's the first school in the Gulf, which is Hidayah al-Khalifiyah. I studied in Umar bin Khattab School in elementary and intermediate. And also I studied in Hidayah al-Khalifiyah, which is the secondary school. And they say all the ministers of Al say and people studied in it. And it was at that time, Bahrain, of course. So at least I studied in that school. And the life of Bahrain is very simple. And people of Bahrain in general are very humble. This is what, our families in Bahrain, you could see, you could feel that humbleness. And that has taught us a lot of things in being Bahrain. So it is always the simple things that change our lives. And these things never happen when you are looking for them to happen. Life will reveal answers at the pace of life wishes to do so. Now, living there, see, this is me. I was naughty, stubborn, as usual. I'm still naughty and stubborn. Okay? That's the one that was the circle. That is me. I'm not here to brag about myself. I just want you to try to envision all this environment that we were living in at that time. So simple, we had a lot of money from our neighbors at that time. Our house, we had about basically 4 houses away from my house. I used to go to them. My grandfather used to be one of the leaders of the prayers at the mosque. He used to take care of this house, lots of money, mashallah, we used to go. Never hurt anybody's feelings. Money is very gentle, mashallah, the manners of money are amazing. This is why people always say money have a beautiful second. So I think that's part of it. So I lived in that area. Of course, my mom was there. She struggled. She was an illiterate, but she struggled hard. She struggled hard. When, of course, my grandfather was there taking good care of us, and my father also from distance, but he was. But we had, in Bahrain, you are exposed to many things. You are exposed to many things, many ideas, many thoughts, if you are, especially if you study in a school like Hidayah al-Khalifiyah, lots of political leanings, lots of things in Bahrain at that time boiling. But you could see, you learn from that. What the simplicity of the people. These are some quotes. A father may turn his back on his child. Brothers and sisters may become embittered enemies. You know what embittered means? Now, what does embittered enemies mean? Come on. Anybody knows the word embittered? I'm not going to do you this now. You have to look it up. Very strong rivals, yes, embittered, more than strong even. Husbands may desert their wives, wives their husbands, but mothers love endures through all. No painter's brush or no poet's pen in justice or in fame has ever reached half high enough to write others' name. The way our mother brought us up is amazing. We are brought up from a religious family. Our ancestor came through my mother's side, came from the Najd area, and used to move around teaching Quran. Move around until he settled in Al-Hudaybiya and Bahrain, where he taught all the people in his neighborhood Quran. So you could see that really affected our bringing in Bahrain. So basically, our home was really, the school was religious. Because in Hidayah, the schools of Bahrain, they were not very keen on teaching the religion, unfortunately, at that time. We would have communists teaching you, communist Bahrain teaching you at that time. Imagine communists teaching you. So, women, especially mothers, are the true leader. And I'll tell you what, this is my grandfather, who used to be basically leading prayer. I joined a club. Now you love it. You're going to be happy because you love football. I used to be a football player. Not just football player, I used to be also a gymnast, personal gymnastics. I used to be one of the good goalkeepers. Muscat, you heard about Muscat? Anybody knows about football? The best goalie used to be the best goalkeeper in the Asia at that time. Okay, one of the best. I used to play football. Now, football taught me a lot of things. I used to play with the best team, the Muharram team. I think you know the Muharram team if you will. And that team was always, they taught us the spirit of winning all the time. There is no room for losing. So that spirit, even though football at that time, we might be a little bit, say, we were not really brought up being religiously by the society, but just by the family in general. But football taught us to really, took us away from bad things at that time. And we started really giving it a lot of work. We never thought about losing, because that thing, the ball was with most of the tournaments, when Muharram is not doing that. I used it to be in the junior, of course. Then I left it, I wanted to study. And this is when I started. When I left and I graduated from Bahrain, 17, when I felt I was really not in good shape in English word, I was weak. Then we had this agreement, the bargain, and he said, okay. I started hanging out with his family till the rest of my life. I mean, even to these days now, in contact. And he passed away, liver cancer. But at that time, may Allah have mercy on his soul. But really, that was one of my best move that really helped me to improve my English language. So I lived with this family. They are from American family, and they were coming there to study about Arabic and Islam, so their environment was also healthy. It wasn't like just an open. I would go with them to the compounds, I would go wherever they would go, I would go with them. And of course, I was really basically immersed in this English language environment. Also, whatever, they also benefited from me because I was teaching his girls, and I was teaching him, and his wife. So that's one of the improvement or self-directed learning that I took. The other one, this is not happening between, okay? The other one, I was, in my last year, not last year, the third year, I felt I needed to improve my English. So I quit one semester in the university and went to Japan to work with Bechtel, one of the biggest American companies that used to take care of Japan and Yemen. So I worked with Bechtel company for 6 months to improve also my English. So I stopped my studies. My father was not happy with it, and I went back. I went to the Bechtel and I worked for 6 months. Then I came back again, joined the university again to finish, so that I can improve myself in English language. These basically two very important important stations for me that really helped in my life. Now, again, this is not. Of course, I pursued my studies. I was Mu'id, they call it Mu'id in the Mahad al-Idara al-Amma. After I finished, I was, alhamdulillah, ranked my cumulative average was the best in all the English major. Because of these two moves I did. I was accepted to be working as a lecturer. I went to Mahad al-Idara al-Amma. I became a lecturer. They sent me to the state. I finished my studies in TESOL. That was in Europe. Yes, I didn't stay that much in America except for 1 year and something. So it wasn't even long. So I finished that, and that was also the teaching of English language. Before I went to the state, I was sure I didn't want to go to the state without getting married. So I insisted on getting married before going to the state. So I stayed for 1 year there. So then I came back from the States. I became the head of the English language department, but I didn't like it. Then I wanted to teach in school. During my stay in this, as the head of the English department, I was introduced to this lovely man. He used to be my boss before I went to the state. When I went to the state, I became his boss. So I started taking revenge from him. I'm just joking here. And we had a very nice relationship. And we started a new program called English for Da'wah, English for Islamic Studies. So he is basically one of my very close friends that I've been with him for the past 40 years. He's American, So this relationship has helped to improve my English language also, has helped to improve my life, and has put me on a track. Because of the Afro-American and this person, I started thinking about utilizing my English to present our Islamic culture to the world. And I started developing the program that I showed at the beginning called Effective Islamic English Cross-Cultural Communication. These are some of the personalities that also inspired me to be in the field of voluntarism, the field of presenting Islam all over the world, and to be really, to retire, to dedicate myself to our program that is now, alhamdulillah, has become international, called EIECC, Effective Islamic English Cross-Cultural Communication. Some of the characters that has really influenced me. After I graduated, I became the director of the English. I say this already. This is the program. I don't want to say a lot about it. That's the program, basically. Effective Islamic English Cross-Cultural Communication. You can just see it. Then I went to Jubail. There's another transition of my life here. I was called upon to lead a department in Jubail Industrial College, the English department. And I went to Jubail there, and in Jubail also I was a lecturer, then I became senior lecturer, in addition to my job as the director of the English department. Is that? This is where we, so, a new direction. That time I felt I needed to leave Jubail College. I wanted to, Saudi Aramco, and Saudi Aramco is another country. It's a country inside a country. There's many business departments, many opportunities, you can really increase your basically, you do just much better. When I got to Aramco company, I felt like I needed to change now to something called human resource development. because it's an add-on to humanitarian field. When I'm there, I was really challenged. I worked in many units, many departments, mostly, of course, in designing English language, leading English centers, and so it was mostly in English field and design. Until my last job was a professional division head, where I did 4 basically units and centers. And that's a direction for me. It started opening up my eyes to something new that I felt like I needed really to work hard. In the whole process, I was reading, I was always joining certificates, joining master degrees, and I never stopped learning, because the more you are exposed to this environment, the more you feel like you want really to learn more and to add your experiences, because you are always challenged. The bar of challenge is always high and high whenever you go in these places. And we need to always perfect yourself and excel, because this is what we're supposed to do as Muslims, not just to seek mediocre performance. You have to seek always excellence, and that is also essentially driving, this sense of winning, from football. We need to win. I need to dedicate myself, persevere to make sure I'm always ahead of the game. That has always been in my mind. And one of the things that I had in mind is to be one of the best speakers in human resource development and cross-cultural communication to present Islam. These were very important vision for me. I felt I needed to have this in my life, because I felt at the end of the day, this is my bread and butter. And I needed to work hard on this. And alhamdulillah, I've ended up now to have an international program. I've been called upon by many places to give talks, speeches, share my experiences, not just to brag about myself, no. I mean, this is not usually, I don't usually do this, except for, I'm going with you to just inspire myself to stay on them, and to feel like I'm young still, because I'm 60 now. So I need to feel like I'm also young. I have very strange habits, by the way, of learning. I'm not going to share this with you. This is secret. You can ask later on. But I really have a very tough way of learning. You will not, it's not going to be easy for anybody to do it the way I do. But it has really shown itself, or this habit has made me who I am today. Now, I always try to become original. I always try to become myself. I always try not to imitate others. I'm not a copyist. I hate copying other people. I learn from other people, but at the end of the day, I want to be myself. Because that is your strength. At the end of the day, this is your strength. And you need to shoot for that you that Allah has given you. And that's very important for you. And there's learning from other people is good. Learning from the best practice is good. But you have to reach to you, because that's your strength. So when you stand in front of people, and you are amongst one opposite or one, basically you are the same person. You don't put masks. You have to be you, as I say, or you reach to you. Some people shy away from that. No, all of you are full of talents and capabilities. You just have to make sure these talents and capabilities will surface, use them, and do something for the sake of yourself, your community, and your, of course, deen. I will end here with the same orphan. The orphan that we started with? Okay, I would like you will always still need this. I would like to tell you that the orphan knew all along that quality is anchored in a vision, or to a vision. He would say vision without action, just a dream. You're still sleeping, so wake up. Vision without action, it's just a dream. So while you are sleeping, how are you going to produce? Nothing. Action without vision, just as a time. But vision with action can change the world. Can change the world. And I will end with this. Just before ending with this, the orphan is my father, basically. Now we know why I'm talking about it. He's my father. The grandfather who passed away and died, inshallah, as a martyr shaheed, is my grandfather. Now, you know why I'm standing here? Because of that fire. And that fire has been always on fire. This is why my vision is in my email. What is my email? Unlimited inspiration. Unlimited inspiration. Because I always see the fire whenever I'm in this life. Wherever I go, I remember this fire. Because this is the fire that ignited the passion of my dad to really be who he is. And ignited the passion of all family to be excellent. You know? So when I share this, I not share just for the sake of me. No, I say it because I feel it is very important to remember the days of those tough days that our ancestors really lived. How they struggled, how they served, how they were billboys. They were everything you think of, they took. And now we are so spoiled. We want to make everything handy and nice. Go to Starbucks and ruin our minds and stomachs and everything with it. We have to be careful. You just have to anchor yourself to that heritage. So that heritage is your power. That heritage what will make you stand. Nobody will care about your heritage except you. And you need to resurrect your heritage and talk about as many stories of your heritage as possible. Because your heritage should always be like a frame for you, lighting the way for you. And the best heritage for us is Islam. So you have to always unite yourself also by the vision of the Muslim. What is the vision of the Muslim? To reach to Jannah, to go to paradise. This is why you have to anchor yourself to that vision. And the higher you go in your vision, and you have to reach to Allah Akbar. Allah is our vision. Reaching to paradise and serving Allah is our vision. And that's what will make you full of values, real values, not commercial values or a salesman's smile or all that stuff. You need to have real values. And the real values will never come from people, it will come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we already have it in the Quran and the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad. With this, I have one slide to show you, just to make you a little bit happy after I made you sad. You see, always read to read. Always read to read and start early on. Always read. After always read to read. Okay? And you need to start early on. Well, with this, I would say thank you very much. It's been worth it. Thank you for attending. And one thing I want to tell you, my mom is the one who brought us up while my father was 7 years away from him. She is a true leader. Aramco would send the people at that time, very few. They will not send their wives with them. They will stay for 6, 7 years, and the wives will take care of the children, and they will protect Aramco. Imagine if your children, nobody is taking care of what will happen. And the men will go and study, sacrifice, but also the women sacrifice to learn Saturday again. Bless you all. Thank you very much. If you want to have questions, I will leave. If you want to have comments, I will stay. So which one do you want? Comments, so that I can stay. That would be nice. Okay. So yeah, I know these stories are boring. I'm not usually say long stories. I'm usually a workshop facilitator. But because of him. So if there is anything wrong, because of who? Sheikh. Not because of him. So put the name on him. Yes, go ahead. I'm waiting. I'll be pleased to hear your comments. Shabab are already bored, so they cannot. Are you? Are you bored? You didn't like it, I'm sure. You love it. It's true. So it's hot here, maybe. You can comment. I mean, let me just make you feel comfortable. What lessons do you learn from what I've said? I think this is a better way. Just let me hear your comments, your feedback, your reflection on what I said. What is it that has stuck in your mind from my presentation? Just the lessons that we learned. Forget about the question. I'm not interested in I just want you to see what is it that we get out of this presentation. So there's always you need to have a fire burning inside you, a vision, a fire that's encouraging you, inspiring you. Yes. Anybody would like us the lessons that we learned? Yes, go ahead.
Just like to thank you. Because the thing
but that's not a lesson. I need a lesson. I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to stand in front of you and be part of you.
You were inspired by
Oh, I'm inspired or inspired? Which one? Don't say inspired. I'm 60 now. So I'm very close to inspired age. Okay, so inspired. Okay. Thank you for being calm. Thank you. Any other lessons, please? Come on. يلا شباب any comments, please? Learning new stuff. What else? There's one thing that's stuck in your mind. Maybe you might have something there also. If anybody would like to say something, yes. Go ahead.
I really wanted to thank you for this explain my vision, to speak about my vision, even study. It's been always difficult for me. I don't know why. I've been trying, and it's kind of difficult, so I just wanted to know that I can take into my work.
I'm not hearing what's said, but you're saying you want to have a vision, and you're still struggling with forming the vision.
I want to know how to use my vision, keep my vision to use. I'm not good at it. I don't know how to say it.
You want to turn to?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're saying, you want your vision to become?
An inspiration.
My
vision is to inspire me.
To inspire you. What is your vision now?
My vision is just to make my family happy. I know that is important.
So what is your higher vision?
It's just do well.
Yes.
Do well.
Do well in what?
My studies.
Keep asking yourself till you get to your vision. What do you want to reach? And then, okay, this is one vision, but this is like a good point. I mean, it is one vision, but what's your ultimate vision?
That's the thing. I don't know.
Excellent, but you already have a vision. You said you want to do all the studies, so that's a vision by itself now. And later on, you keep. When you achieve that, there's another vision. Now, vision is not necessarily it should be one vision. When I finish something, there's another vision. But of course, for the Muslim, our vision is very known to be successful in this life and the hereafter. When they say Hayya ala al-falah, what does it mean? What does Hayya ala al-falah mean? Come and become alive and get success in this life and the hereafter. So that's the vision of any Muslim. It's already in the Adhan. So al-falah is very, very, very important vision for all Muslims. Hayya ala al-falah. But of course, you cannot come. Hayya ala al-falah. You cannot achieve success unless you are connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you have to make sure that this vision is your ultimate. Now what comes, you can have many visions, but at the end of the day, these visions, all of them should be encompassed by this ultimate vision. حي على الفلاح. حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح. Yes, I hope I answered your clearly.
First one saying you're a true fighter. And thanks for giving us the guidance.
You told us about
I just want to say you're a true fighter.
Yes. Okay, I'm a true fighter?
Yes.
What? Firefighter or?
No, that's life.
Life fighter.
Yes. In addition, I want to thank you for giving us the guidance to reasons of life. And put us on the right track. Thank you. I love this.
Love it. Yes, the lady, the girl has access. So let's see it. Yes.
أستاذ تكلمنا عن كثير من نجاحاتك يعني تكلمنا عن قصص نجاحك أو كيف وصلت إلى هذه النقطة بس هل يعني ما تعرضت إلى نقطة فشل أو نقطة حسيت فيها إنك ما تقدر تكمل؟
Of course. I mean, you always have this. Thank you very much for the question. She is asking me about. She was in Alhamdulillah. يعني, you will always have slumps in your life. Of course, you will always have tribulation. And I mentioned this at the beginning. Tribulations, tests, and we mentioned it also in the presentation, that you have these glitches in your life, tough ones. You know, losing your wife in a delivery. That's one of the tragic moments that I had to go through. Losing another wife in cancer is another tragic moment that I had to go through. You know, so life is tough. This will never be easy. Any moment you might be hit with a tragic incident, with a question, can I bounce back again to this life? Now, if I can bounce back again, that means Alhamdulillah, I'm anchored to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm strong. And the strength will come only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But so these are normal. You will be hit hard, you will be envied, you'll have people who will work hard to make sure you show bad. You look bad in front. All of this we saw it. There are people who will survive at work, they want to survive, and then we are good. If you come, you take that position. We knew this. We had all of this. There are people that they conspire day and night to make you out of the scene. Strange enough, life will come back again and you will be leading them all. You understand that? And this is happening in big companies, in many places. You find all. Now, why is this happening? Because the values of these people are breaking. Had they had the best values, the true value, the Islamic values, or the human values, they will not be using these type of tricks. But these are, you will expect people that will always be not your liking. You will expect people that will challenge you. You will expect people who are cynical. You will expect people who are sitting and they will say, what is this guy saying? Then I'm following. You have this in your life. When you are dealing with people, it's normal to have all of these things. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the hadith always talks about اللهم نعوذ بك من الهم والغم والحزن والحسد اللهم والأدعياء والعذر والناس لنا في الحاسد. You have a lot of things, but you need to protect yourself all with supplication. You start this one, I say start with it when you leave the house. Either your life will become prosperous that day, or you will be what? You will destroy your life, right? Because you didn't start. You have to always start Bismillah in the name of Allah. Bismillah, be your protector. And you should remember that there is no help, there is no power, there is no strength, there is no mind that you have. If you move to stand in front of people thinking that you are the one, that means you have failed miserably. But if you stand in front of people telling them that this is all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all what you see is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is planning His way. In the process, you have to make sure you abide by by the rules and the regulations of the Creator, not of the people per se. Because Allah has told you to be loyal, Allah has told you to be ethical, Allah has told you to be what? Morally, a moral person. You know, so it's normal to have these criticisms. If I sit with you, I can give you another presentation about all the holes, all the problems that we face. It's easy, but this is not the right way to inspire you. This is not the right way to inspire you. You know, we face a lot of problems. But at the end of the day, we triumph. The triumph should come from when you triumph as against yourself. You triumph, your success is here, your peace is here. So long as you have peace with your Creator, you have peace with yourself, you have peace with other people, you have peace with your community, you will be better off. Did I answer you, lady? No, she did, I think, skipped. Yes, somebody else. Yes, go ahead.
First of all, I want to say thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. And this is our last year of school, and we have a dream that we want to accomplish. And so, what would be your advice to us to get the highest grades possible and to be successful in our life?
You have to learn life skills. You have to learn competencies. You have to learn project-based. You have to have development in leadership, communication, critical thinking, teamwork, not just to depend on your own knowledge per se. You have to have all these skills, academic skills that they talk about. All these are very important for your life. Now, remember, companies, when you come to companies, they might put you on something called onboarding program. Now, what is onboarding program is? It's basically what I'm telling you now. I designed one for Saudi Aramco Professional Academy. It's one of my, as they say, 40 strength. I designed it for 6 months. Sorry, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And basically what they give you here is what you are asking for. Because what's happening is that when, unfortunately, students join companies, their companies like Aramco or Saudi, they find it very difficult. So what do they do? They have to deprogram them and reprogram them because of the way they were taught. So it's a lot of struggle to with the companies. So what do they give them? And they use it. So it's all from universities they come here. Mumtaz, very important because I know that Saudi Arabia, I remember there's a day for all universities. You know, they get together, so students from high school they will go and see these universities. This will give them exposure. I hope this is happening here. You know, all in Oman, so that this will all bring in a representative of each university to speak about what they have, or colleges. Excellent, excellent. This is the but at the end of the day, 3 things are very important. The most important thing, self-development, learning, never stop learning. Read to read. Remember the last thing I said? What did I say the last thing? Read to read. Just read. As much as you can. Don't stop reading. Read to read. And that's the first word that the Prophet Muhammad was hit with. Because all what you see in front of you, imagine people did not read. What will happen? Okay? So read to read. When you start reading, you will read. But remember, when you read, don't stop. Teach what you read. My dear, whatever you read, teach it to others, you learn more. You will build here, you will build your competency, you will build your character. Because you will build the character of sharing and caring about other people. And never just read for your own self, because at the end of the day, there is a community. Your community is waiting for you. So make sure when you read, you teach what you read, what you have read, so that you learn more. And when you read, try to get, when you share what you have, try to get feedback from other people. So get more feedback, reflect. Always reflect, think, on what you read. So you read, you teach what you read, you get more. So when you give, you get. When you give, you get more. Yes, and there is a lot of learning from teaching. Okay? But you know, only one ayah. Well, Muhammad didn't stop there. He said, if you have one ayah, share it, don't stop. Because at the beginning with knowledge, after that he will what? The character building of sharing and taking care of other people. And that's the Muslim. الفكر العناية, البناء, constructive approach. You know, he always thinks about construction, helping, you know. And remember, when you help others, somebody will come and help you out. By default, it's coming back to you. Okay, that's the society called knowledge society. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good question, but you put me on my toes. Anybody else? No, they seem to hate me now. So I have to go. Ladies, no. Your one is hot. Yes, it's hot, isn't it? Or maybe because I'm worried about you burning from inside. Or because of the fire. Oh, I forgot the fire. Okay, anyway, with this I would say thank you very much for hosting me, and I hope I've added something that I wasn't planning to give this talk, but Ahmad bin Majid you give that talk. With this I would like to thank you all, and Allah bless you, and this, mashallah, Sheikh Majid, Sheikh Fathiya. I'm very proud to know that this trip has been my best trip ever, you know, and to tell you the truth, it's my best trip in this year. May Allah bless you. And I will end with almost سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. جزاكم الله
On behalf of Ahmad Bin Majid, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to our honorable guest for his motivational speech, which sincerely touched our hearts and minds. Now, I kindly invite the chairman to give Dr. Khalid AL-Dossary with a token of appreciation.